Hello and welcome back to the Beautiful Things channel. Now this month's video is a little bit different. This is going to be kind of a makes video and a podcast rolled into one. So I've been super busy with lots and lots of sewing, and I have got lots of garments made, although I only have one garment to show you that is for me. And that's because this month has been the Sew Over It Selfless Sewing Month, and I've been taking part. So I've made a couple of things for the children and I've made something for my mum, and then I've been busy developing a new course and also coming up with a new project bag design. So I've been doing lots and lots of sewing behind the scenes, but probably don't have a great deal to show you. So this is probably going to be fairly short and sharp. So let's start with what I'm wearing, and as you can see I've got my Joni dress on that I said I was going to make, with the lovely butterfly digital print jersey that I bought from the Utrecht fabric market. Now I do like this dress. I was a little bit nervous about it at first, not because I thought it would be difficult to make, but because I didn't know that the style would really suit me. And I'm still a little undecided, if I'm honest. I can't help but think that this ruchy part around the boobs looks somewhat like a boob hammock. And also I can put my hand up and say that I screwed up the neckline, as you can see. So it doesn't lay flat here like it should do. And if you're not careful, you'll see a really ugly bit of fabric join underneath this twist. Now I will tell you why that is, and it's a mistake that I won't make again. And it's a very easy one to make, I would think, for anyone who is an experienced or semi-experienced, because I don't call myself particularly experienced, but semi-experienced dressmaker. So I traced off my pattern, I laid my pattern on my fabric, and I cut my pattern out. What I didn't do was read the section in the book that was about cutting out your Joni dress. Because if I had done, I would have found certain parts where I needed to make my own marks, and they weren't actually on the pattern piece. Mainly in the centre front of the bodice here. I didn't have the marks and I didn't have the notches I was supposed to have, but I did have notches that were on the pattern. So as I'm sewing along and I'm following the instructions, I did the twist that you're supposed to do and everything else. I created the binding for the neckline. But when I then attached the binding, it should have wrapped itself around a central notch. And I didn't have that central notch. I had a notch that was about 1/2 inch out and about 1/2 inch out. So my binding got wrapped around there instead of being wrapped right round the centre. So it's a very small mistake, but it's one that's cost me because it has screwed up my neckline. I'm not particularly happy with it. The thought of unpicking all of this binding, which has been double stitched down now, is a little bit, to say the least. But the dress is wearable. It's really nice. It's not a problem. No one knows, other than obviously the thousands of people that watch my YouTube channel. But when I'm out and about and I'm wearing this out for dinner or wherever, no one's going to be any the wiser. But just a little warning to any of you who are thinking of making the Joni dress, do make sure that you read the cutting instructions before you cut out your garment, because it is a very simple thing, but a very easy mistake to make, but one that I'm regretting. So let me give you a twirl. So while we're talking garment sewing, I've been busy sewing for other people as well. I have created 2 brand new pairs of pajamas. I will pop one picture up here. This is little Miss Mac, and I made her another pair of the duck butt design pajamas in a panda jersey, which I just picked up from my local fabric shop. It's a really wide fabric roll. It was really unusual. So I didn't need to buy very much of it. I got this pair of pajamas out of 1/2 metre, which is fantastic. The second pair of PJs I made were for little Mac, and he had seen his sisters and asked me to make him some, but being the near 11-year-old that he is, he couldn't find any jersey that he liked. It was all too young and too babyish, and he just wanted black. So I don't know about you, but I don't like sewing things that I could go to the shops and buy. And I'd said to him I could go to Tesco's, Primark, anywhere like that and pick you up a plain pair of black pyjamas. Why on earth would mummy slave over her sewing machine and cutting table to make you a pair of pyjamas that you just want black? I'm not going to do it. And he put a huff on and got all grumpy with me. So then I sent him some links that the lovely Suzanne from Pink Scissors had sent me, and he picked this dinosaur fabric, which he really likes. So we used that, and here he is in his PJs. So they're super comfy. He doesn't actually tend to wear pajama tops very often, and he is wearing the top, so that's testament to me that they are obviously very comfortable, and he's very pleased with them. I would like to point out as well, just while we're talking fabrics, that some people have been questioning whether I'm sponsored, whether my vlog is sponsored by Pink Scissors fabric. It's not at all, or So Loco. Both are just companies that I really like to use. I've always had really good service, and I'm just an advocate of them. So I'm not affiliated to them in any way, shape or form. Yes, I've had some fabric sent to me from So Loco after being a customer for quite a while, and I will be showing you what I'm making with that probably next month. And I do get a discount code for Pink Scissors that I can give to any of my clients and customers if they buy their jersey from them. But other than that, it's not something I'm going to be giving out to you guys unless you come on one of my courses. So I'm not affiliated to them in any way, shape or form. But if you do want to get jersey, it is a really good place to get it from. So the other thing that I made was a molly top, a sew over it molly top. And I had some scrap fabric in the studio that I hadn't used before. One of my customers had bought it to make a dress, and she'd left behind a good 1.5 meters of it and said she was never going to use it. Would I like it? So yeah, please. So I made myself a molly dress. The weather was a really sunny day, and I didn't want to make the long sleeves, so I just made it without the sleeve version. But then I decided to muck around with it, which I probably shouldn't have done. And I changed the sleeve ever so slightly, and just to make it a little bit more capped, and I just took off a small section and put a little ridge of black binding on the edge so that I could just finish the raw edges without having to turn under and hem. And I tried it on, here it is. I'll show you the me in a picture. I do blend into the brick wall a little bit, but I don't love it. Everyone in the studio that day told me how nice it was and how nice it looked on me, and I shared it on my Instagram, but I just don't like it. And if you don't like something, you're not going to be able to force yourself to like it. So I have given it to my mum, and I thought it was extremely appropriate, bearing in mind it is Sew Over It Selfless Sewing Month. It's a Sew Over It pattern, and it's not for me. So my mum is now the proud owner of this dress. So the rest of the sewing that I've been doing in my studio has been preparing for new classes, both in-person classes and online classes. You may remember in my last Makes video, I mentioned working on an intro to stretch jersey online course. Now I have actually launched that course now. It is available to buy. I've popped the details down below in the description. And the next course actually starts on the 1st of May, so you're not too late to join in. So I've been doing lots of sewing in the studio because obviously I've been doing lots of filming for all of the video tutorials. So I do have about 4 tops, 3 dresses, and about 4 pairs of pajamas on the go at the moment. So by the end of May, you are going to have a bumper Makes video with loads and loads of things to show you. But obviously I can't show you those things now because they're all half finished. The other thing that I've been doing is coming up with a design for a new project bag. And I think this one's going to be a class that I do in-house, but also I will potentially launch later in the year a project bag online course, and that will be for all of my knitters and crocheters who also sew. And I'll probably do 3 or 4 different types of project bag in that course, rather than you just doing a course to make a zipper bag or a course to make a drawstring bag. And they will all be my own designs. And I'm really passionate about making sure that when I teach something in my studio or online, it is my own design. And if it's not my own design, then I always make sure that the pattern writer, developer, whatever you want to call them, pattern owner, is credited, and that obviously they get their money for their pattern. But this particular project bag that I've done, I've got 2 here that I've done so far, is a big square project bag, and it's one of the ones that's designed so that you can put your pin badges on the outside, which seems to be the thing right now, and the backs of the badges aren't visible on the inside of the bag, so it's not going to damage your knitting when it's inside. So this is not my concept, I must state. There are quite a few people who are doing this type of bag. They tend to have like a popper segment inside so that you can get your hand between the linings. And they're also a slightly different size and shape. I have seen quite a few of them both in the flesh and online. Lots of people are selling them. So the concept is certainly not something that I've come up with, but the design is. All of the measurements, all of the instructions, and the way that the cord goes in, etc. And the difference in my ones is that they have a zip inside. So you've got a little zip here, and the zip opens so that you can get your hand between the lining and the outside of the bag. I've only got 1 pin badge on here. To be able to put your pin badges on. This is my Joanne Hawker Tools of Mass Creation pin, which I love. So the draw cord is enclosed. You can see it's enclosed in its own channel, and it comes from the outside of the bag rather than the inside of the bag, which means it's easy to carry and close up. And there is loads of room in these bags. This one's got my boxy jumper in it that I've been knitting, and it's nearly finished. So you can see I've got my jumper, my pattern, the yarn, my needles, everything in there, and it all closes up really nicely. I've tried to encourage people where possible to recycle when they do projects like this, and I always try and do it when I'm sort of coming up with ideas and patterns so that I'm not wasting good quality fabric. And this fabric is lovely. It's some curtain fabric that I was given by one of our local upholstery shops. They often give me their offcuts, and it's just cheap curtain lining on the inside, but it works really well, and it's a really nice texture and really quite funky. And this one is made from the legs of my husband's old jeans. So I've purposely cut the panels out so that you get the top stitching showing on the bag, which I think looks really nice. So that's just totally recycled from old jeans, and inside is just some cheap, it's not even linen, it's just like a cheap cotton fabric that I had in my stash. The only thing that I spent out for was the cord, and this is really nice cotton cord. It doesn't fray a lot. It's really nice to use, but again, that's just from my local haberdashery shop. So I will do it as part of a course, so it will be an online course with full video tutorials, and I will make sure that obviously the written pattern and everything is included in that. So that's me, that's all I've been doing, and I've been doing a lot. The trouble is I haven't got a lot that I can show you this month, so it's probably slightly disappointing. For those of you who want to just hang around, you've got 2.5 minutes with a video that I'd really love to show you. And I will say now, it's an advert. If you don't want to watch it, then switch off now. But if you'd like to find out a little bit more about my intro to sewing jersey, then for 2.5 minutes, I'm going to tell you why I love sewing with jersey, and I'm going to bust some of those myths about sewing with jersey too. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. So you want to make your own clothes, but you really don't fancy making summer dresses, trousers, pretty cotton frocks, or things that are going to take absolutely ages to make. Or maybe you already make your own clothes, but you're sick of sewing darts, inserting zips, fiddling around with altering patterns to make sure that they fit you. If that's you, then you need to make friends with stretchy fabric. Don't listen to the people who say,
oh, no, no, no. Don't want to be doing jersey, not for your first time. Stick with cotton, it's much safer. Sewing jersey is just so hard.
Sewing with stretch is not hard. It all comes down to understanding the nature of the fabric and how best to handle it. It's also a common misconception that you need specialist equipment to be able to deal with stretchy fabric. Again, not true. You don't need an overlocker or a complicated cover stitch machine to be able to make the most of stretchy fabrics. Just a regular sewing machine. You don't even have to pin your pattern to your fabric and cut it out with scissors. You can quickly and simply whiz round the edge with a rotary cutter, cutting your pattern pieces out super quickly and really neatly. Now don't get me wrong, having an overlocker is fantastic. I love mine. They make light work of any garment, but it isn't an essential. So if you want to make yourself or the children in your family comfy tops, super stretchy dresses, lovely cozy comfy PJs, then you need to learn to love jersey. Let me hold your hand every step of the way. Come with me on a 13-week adventure into learning to sew with stretch fabric. With just an hour or so a week of learning, you will have completed not one, not two, but 3 fantastic garments, and they can be for yourself or the small people in your life. Hey, if you've got lots of time on your hands, you can make even more than 3 garments in that time. Each week you'll be sent an email containing a training video and any notes that accompany it. Simply set aside a couple of hours a week so that you can get your class done. But don't worry if you can't keep up, or perhaps you want to go on holiday or take a break. That's okay. Stack up the emails and have a good binge watch. They never expire, so you can tap in whenever you like. Now you won't be flying solo with this. You're going to be included in a fantastic Facebook group just for the pupils of our Intro to Jersey course. It's a dedicated group where you'll find lots of handy information and you'll get to talk to all of your fellow pupils. Show off your makes, things that you're proud of, even if things go wrong, it's a place where you can share your troubles, ask questions, and I'm going to be on hand to answer anything that you should get stuck with. So if you're ready to learn to love stretch fabrics, or you just want to find out a little bit more, click on the link below. We're starting the next course really soon, and we can't wait for you to join our team of Jersey Ninjas.